Hello everybody, I'm DeltaSonic, and today I will be checking out which one is better, the BlackBerry Torch 9800 or the iPod Touch 2. Let's go! Alright, so these devices are both very different. This is a phone, obviously, and this is not. But I just wanted to have a comparison to see probably like the operating system and which one's better. That sounds about right. So on this, we have, okay, so first of all, on the iPod we have iOS 3.1.3 right now. Let me just find that in settings. General, about, you should see that right there. 3.1.3, barely, but you should be able to see it. That's what's on the iPod. And on the BlackBerry, we have BlackBerry OS 6. I have no idea how to check to find that. Maybe in settings there might be something. Let's figure that out. Slide out the keyboard. Find settings. Fine. Once I find it, then I will be right back. Alright, I found it. So give it a second. So once you go into setting options in this device, go to devices, go scroll down to about device versions, and you should see it. This is 6, yeah, BlackBerry OS 6, no 6.1 or anything, which is good, so I have that right. Let's get that out. And get down. Both devices, actually this I have to say some other things. This is using White Door 7 to make it look a bit more like iOS 7, and runs completely fine. Just gonna disable Wi-Fi. So we're gonna just have to see. We're just gonna see what each operating system can do. So the BlackBerry was released in 2010. This was released in 2008. But specs wise, let's move you out so we can have the specs for this. Okay, so on the iPod Touch 2, we have iOS 3.1.3. I said that. Okay, it's got a 3.5-inch screen, which is 480 by 320. That gives you 165 pixels per inch. You've got 0.125 gigabytes of RAM. That's 125 megs of RAM. You got 8 gigabytes of storage. Stay on, please. Thank you. 789 milliamp hour battery. Wi-Fi 802.11b and G. It and was released on 2008. So that will do for this. Move that out. Move you in. What are you doing? Okay, BlackBerry, you're acting a little funny, but let's see. You have BlackBerry 6 OS, obviously. So you've got a 3.2-inch screen, which is 360 by 480, a little bit better, and that gives you a resolution. My bad. 480 by 360. I forgot to do that, which is 188 pixels per inch, slightly better. On the back you have a 5 megapixel camera. And with flash, I forgot to mention that, which can do pretty good photos, as we saw in my BlackBerry video. Links will be in the description somewhere down there. It can record up to 480p, 640 by 480, which is VGA at 24 frames per second. Let's see. It's got a 624 megahertz processor. I forgot to mention, actually, the iPod is 533, so we'll just put that there. It's got half a gig of RAM, which is 512 megabytes, and also 512 megabytes of storage built in. Versus no, my bad, that's 4 in here, 4 gigabytes in there, which is half of what the iPod has. And the iPod, oh, I should move that, the iPod can go up to 32. So it's got a 1300 milliamp hour battery, which, if I can just, that's removable. No, I'll just put that on later. You got, it does 3G connect, 3G data speed, cellular speeds. It's got Wi-Fi 802.11 and N, so it has an extra, what is it called, Wi-Fi band. I don't know what they're called actually. And it was released on August 3rd, it was announced on 2010, August 3rd. Alright, so move that out of the way. Slide in the back. Okay, that went in, I think. Never mind. Just gonna slide that out. What are you calling? Okay, I should really lock your screen first. Alright, we'll move you there, move here. Alright then. And let's just compare what we have here. The iPod is, let's see. Compare the height. The iPod is slightly taller. Just show you that. There we go. That's when the BlackBerry is closed. It's slightly taller in my. That's what it feels like in my hand. The BlackBerry is taller once it's got its slider function. Once you have the keyboard slid out, the BlackBerry is obviously taller. On the top, and the BlackBerry is slightly narrower. It's just those edges on the iPod that make it look slimmer. I actually have no idea. The BlackBerry is no doubt thicker. Anyone can tell. And it's also heavier than the iPod. The iPod also curves on the corners, which I don't know what to say. The BlackBerry is sort of a block. Curves a little bit at the edges. I actually find the BlackBerry a bit more comfortable to hold. I just like the soft touch back. Let's compare the buttons now. On the iPod, you got your home button on the front, and it looks pretty clean, but I don't know if the camera will pick this up. It won't. Around that area there is a light sensor. On the BlackBerry you have your call, Just a second. BlackBerry menu, back, and end call power button. Front, and let's just turn to this side. Try this one-handed. On the iPod you have nothing. On the BlackBerry you have your volume and your two-stage camera button, and it also acts as a shortcut key, and your headphone jack. On the other side, it's the opposite. There's nothing here. Actually, there's a micro USB, and on the iPod, it's the volume. On the bottom is nothing on the BlackBerry, but you have your headphone jack and 30-pin charger. On the top, you have your lock screen for BlackBerry, and power sleep wake button for the iPod, and also a mute key. For some reason it doesn't work on this BlackBerry. I'm pretty sure that's a mute key, I have no idea. On the back you have a camera and flash, 5 megapixels as it says there, and you have your Wi-Fi antenna on the iPod. The iPod's made of, I think, stainless steel. Very shiny, unless it is aluminum. Very shiny. Makes your fingers look. My fingers look weird. So obviously this is the more premium device because it's glass and aluminum, I guess, stainless steel. I don't know. The only piece of plastic being the buttons, and this is pretty much all plastic. I think these are glass. This phone actually has a heft to it, which I sort of like. It feels a bit more sturdy. Like, I'm not gonna cry if I drop it. It's not gonna break. This one feels a bit more fragile, you could say. Also, the build quality on these old Apple devices are good, but there's a few issues, like the screen popping out, which causes dust. BlackBerry has no issue. Also, I forgot to mention there's the notification light. Let's get that open. So from once you turn it on, you can see that the iPod has a lock screen while the BlackBerry just goes straight in, like Grenade Gamer 6. Just go straight into it. So on the home screen you have your sound settings, your settings, like similar to like a control center, and you have your notifications, which Apple did not have until iOS 5. They didn't have the notification, and they didn't have the settings until iOS 7. There would be a few differences on iOS 4. You could slide over here to search, so just tapping that to search, or sliding out the keyboard and typing whatever you want. And you can't do that here. For some reason my search doesn't work. I have no idea why. You don't have multitasking until iOS 5 as well. Or is that iOS 4.3.3? I have a 4.3. I think it's 4.3. Then you have different ways of showing your apps. On BlackBerry you just sorry about that, got a bit of a cold. You can drag up, tap, and if you put it down, you can rearrange it to have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's about it. Icons showing. Just pull that down. You also have a bar that shows you which folder you're on, all, favorites, media, downloads, frequent. On iOS 4.2.1, I think iOS 4, you can use folders. Because this is jailbroken, you can already use it. On BlackBerry, you can create a folder by holding on a icon, and it should give you the option this corner. Everything's a bit easier on iOS. For example, if you just hold it, you can immediately move it to the dock and whatever. If you want to delete an app, you can just hold an app and hit X. On a BlackBerry, you would have to hold, and then you can choose either at the top it says move, mark as favorite, hide. You have a lot more options here. Delete. I'm gonna delete the BlackBerry world. Okay, that's something different. Something weird. And this YouTube isn't YouTube. It's just like a web wrapper. And okay, yeah, it's that. Okay, so alright. Oh man, my throat just dries up. Also on a BlackBerry, you can't do this on iOS. You can use the keyboard for shortcuts. Set for speed dial. If you hold Q, for example, this is one that, or it comes with your BlackBerry. If you hold one, you'll get I don't know. If you hold Q, it'll change whatever you have into vibrate, whatever profile you have. If you hold A, it acts the same as the screen lock. So that will do it for part 1 of the BlackBerry Torch versus iPod Touch 2 comparison. And I hope you enjoyed. The next video will be a speed comparison between the operating systems. Obviously they have about the same power. This BlackBerry having the slight edge, but we'll see who wins. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'm DeltaSonic, and I am signing out.